Hello everyone, this is going to be a VOD of my Juno gameplay against SRPC. I'm going to try and keep it similar to the way I VOD other people and mainly address myself as just someone else and try to forget about the fact that it is me. But if it becomes relevant, I might explain why I make a mistake. So yeah. Or just really if there's anything that I notice happening. So here we hear Sim, I call for that. It's just a typical spawn hold. Here, this is probably bad scouting from me. I probably shouldn't go so aggressive onto the Rhine, because Fi could be playing Widow. But it's a risk I am able to take. It's a decent orbs because they do try and actually fight this. But after we kill the Sim, they just kind of don't really know what to do in terms of continuing the spawn hold. So generally our comp is looking to try and get either the Baptiste or potentially the Sim if they use up the TP, or the Rhine if they TP the Rhine on our Ana, we can all turn for that. That sort of thing. So here this is really bad orbs, right? They didn't actually do anything here. This is me overreacting to the TP. And really we can just chill up here for a while. Because they have to either walk around here to contest behind or walk up. And I can just wait for that and speed ring my backline to kite them. Maybe flip the map. Because they'll have to either come up here or through here. So a little too hasty on the orbs. So here, I would get too focused on the Juno and killing that lamp. Once the lamp was down, we weren't going to kill the Juno. And I should have actually just seen the TP, immediately put down the ring, so that my backline could kite, and maybe we could all jump up and try and kill Cloudy. So here we can actually stall this out. They've lost their supports, and there's also the fact that their comp's just not very good at getting to the high ground. So if I can get back up on here, they're going to have a bit of a difficult time getting to me without taking too much poke. There's also the fact that our spawn is closer than their one, so we just have the advantage in a really long fight. Like, naturally, their comp has an advantage in a long fight, but because we have the spawn advantage, that's the way. However, I probably could have gotten away this way and kited this way if I'd been more proactive about it. But instead I'm going this way. It's not a massive deal in terms of what happens, but if I had stayed here, I could have got more poke onto these targets, which potentially leads to actually getting a kill. So I hear TP, and they haven't done anything with it, so I'm going out for my orbs now. It's actually alright, considering we want to look for the engage. It's the target we actually kill. Here I could have put this ring down on one of my team, because it was just for me. Pretty bad by me. And so I'm just shooting out the Rhine, because we need to clean up the fight. Alright, so we're coming up to an ult fight. We've got an ult economy disadvantage because we've had to use some ults to break their spawn hold. This is kind of a must-win fight for us. If we don't win it, they'll probably still have ult economy advantage, and we won't. They'll actually have a setup going for this hold. So it's pretty important that we win this one. Don't know what this ring does. Doesn't do a whole lot. Could have definitely waited on it. Maybe put it here if I wanted to use it for Blaster Kite, but wasting the ring, that's something I enjoy doing. So since we lost the match era early, we have to wait around. Have a pretty boring time because Fire's actually swapped to the Widow now. At this point, something has to happen, and realistically, it has to be us to do something because we're the ones who are losing time. They're fine to just sit here forever. So we'll fight back. I could have probably Juno ulted right here before turning back to her Metro era. But I do just go for it. Obviously, make sure I get that orb onto the other Juno. Unfortunately, we can't actually get the kill, but it's alright. So they're committing way more ults. They kind of mess up their window. Bring my Winston. And we just about managed to win it out by going first. I find a way to die to the Widow, when really all I had to do there was sit back and heal Lars, but it works out. So there's no Widow now, so I can go back to peeking and looking for poke. Just something that I'm able to do a lot here. So here I see the Rhine charging back. I actually used my ring on the right target this time. I called the kite. We're just a bit too slow on it. I could have used the ring a tiny bit earlier maybe. And that Eliozu could have walked a bit earlier. It's a decent orbs, but I don't get the one target that really mattered there, which was the Sim. So again, there's a lot of time just spent poking here. These orbs don't really do anything. If I need to help my Ana, I can just use the speed ring, and then orbs if still necessary. I can probably just shoot the Ryan, to be honest. Yeah, I do end up using the speed ring. So nothing really interesting going on in terms of what I could be doing differently. It's just a bit of a messy fight. And that's normally bad for our comp, so that's not ideal there. So we've only got 40 seconds left, but we do go for the reset. Maybe if I called for it, there's a chance that I can actually use my ult here and force some kind of ult trade, because they'll probably at the very least use Simul, which is really difficult for us to get through. The problem is that using ults first in this situation is just a bit awkward. Like, they will be back. They do have a TP down. And it requires my team to actually walk on it. And with a Widow, it's not really that easy to walk on it. So they do the same thing, take back the high ground with the Rhine. And again there, maybe there's an opportunity where actually I could have just popped my ult and gone for it. Because we do have Winston with Primal, we do have an Ana with LOS on it. They are pretty split. There's a chance we can make something happen from them pushing so far into us. And if I just meet their aggression with my ult, it's likely to do something. At the very least, force them to use ults. Which I probably should have done, so they didn't have such an overwhelming ult advantage in this going into this fight here. So here we can actually chill a little bit. So they kind of mess up their ults. They use the Sim Wall a bit passively. They use the Juno ult pretty poorly. Actually gives us a chance here. That's how. I don't have the orbs for the ult. I probably should have, but they actually make it pretty easy for us by overcommitting too early. When we weren't actually in, so they couldn't catch us, and so I could just Juno ult back without even having to kite really. So we really need to make something happen here. And if we don't, it's just going to be another stall the point at this part. They'll all sit over here, right? And it's going to be a very long time until we actually have anything of meaning happen. So what I could actually be doing here is going over here with my Ashe. Say you can go up here and I have speed ring for you. Maybe these turrets actually catch bones here. I think they might, but if we get the Ashe up to here, we have the speed ring for it, then maybe our Winston can actually look in, because then we'll have more than one angle with the Ana and the Ashe, even though it's not the best off angle, since it is just higher up a higher up version of the main angle. It still would be nice to have, and it's better than just sitting here doing not a lot. This ring really doesn't do anything. I just need to ring my Winston on the way out, not the way in. That's a common issue here. And yeah, maybe could have even just saved ring for my backline. So here's the same thing, we need to make something happen. I should have called my hitscan to my Ashe to go for something. This ring is okay because Trera can actually use it, but there's no need for him to kite. I should have saved it again. I'm kind of just using the ring for nothing quite a lot. This orbs is fine. It's just, they're not very good, but it's fine. And here I'm just forced to back away. And I do get caught up too. And unfortunately we're not able to touch the point. We were just going to get slow fighted out either way though. So again, just needing to make a proactive play is something I need to do. And I can make that happen by asking my hitscan to go somewhere when they get these sort of bunker spots. But it's on the defense now, so it's a bit different. There isn't as much need to be proactive. try and use this for an early hit. We don't really go for it. I again think maybe I just save the ring if we aren't, since we might just get TP'd on and need it to kite. So here I see the opportunity to hit 2 people with orbs, and I see the Mei very out of position, so I think there's a chance we can at least force Ice Block. So here, actually, this orbs was really bad. If I just kept shooting this TP, I could have caught Ilpi, who foolishly took it. But, yeah. And again, I'm not really using the ring for anything. Maybe if I had ring in this moment here, I could have used it for my backline so they could walk back in. Or they could walk over this way. But I get a nice orbs here. While our Winston's in, their turn has basically just ended because they've been forced back down. A TP is already used. I do catch LP. Unfortunately, by catching LP, I actually go too close to him. I can just shoot him from here, and then go help my backline. Or I could have just helped my backline. Because a trade isn't really that good in this compositional matchup. They kind of benefit from trades more than we do. So I get an easy pick because he's just standing in the open. I go for an orbs that's pretty risky there, but if we finish this fight quickly, which if those orbs hit we do, then they don't build ults, and we keep our ult advantage, which is quite important here. So it's more that because of the timing, those orbs were okay, even though I nearly died from them. So here, I actually could have got some poke over here, if I just start here. They can't really TP on me and kill me. The most that they can do is like TP window. But even then I can probably just get away with Juno ulting, if I'm quick enough. I should at least have looked for the poke there. So I heard him go high ground. Ring my backline. It was a little late. And then this orbit isn't amazing, right? It's pretty obvious that at this point, right, there's going to be a fight here. Like that seems pretty obvious to me. If I actually orbit earlier here, then, well, I don't use the orbs before I use the orbit. That's kind of what it's all about there. But the orbit's direction is quite good for an orbit that goes backwards. Because it does manage to hit my Winston and my Tracer. So maybe we didn't need the primal if either at all, or we didn't need the primal if I'd used my orbital ray before using my orbs. All things considered, 2 ults for 1 isn't the worst thing in the world. It's just they're likely to get a fight winner, yeah, with their orbital ray. So they TP onto point, I go for my orbs, and actually here we can just chill. But we don't chill. We try and go in, we try and use stuff, and it doesn't work out for us because they've got 2 really strong defensive ults down in the orbital ray and Simwall. And maybe if we wait a bit there and then we use our ults, we actually win that fight and we win the map. But now we're going to see something quite disastrous, where actually we find a way to just never clear this Rhino high ground. So Lars gets body blocked. And now I don't back fast enough. I should have just used my shift earlier. I needed to keep backing here. And so we managed to actually stagger away a whole fight. Just by not backing early enough. And not waiting for everyone. Which is... it's not something you really want to do. And then we actually managed to do it again and not wait for everyone. So now we've lost the whole point to not waiting for everyone. And at this point, I just need to use ult to keep Lars alive so he can have a chance of touching, because the payload isn't very far away from capping. Here we just lose the fight, because this is quite a nice bunker spot for the other team. They've got this high ground, which if they didn't have this high ground, it would be so set in stone, but because we can't disrupt that, that's why they went here. So, unfortunately, it goes a bit pear-shaped on point 2, and that's what ends up happening. But yeah. So, what can I improve upon? Well, I can, first of all, actually not use my ring on the Winston as much, and actually try and save it for my backline. So this match was on Ashe, but actually save it for the backline so that the TP isn't so potent, really. Another thing I could do is probably think about a bit more about my orbs. There were quite a few times where I either used orbs when it would be better to shoot, or just orbs when it would be better to ult. It's not very ideal there. And the other thing I can probably think about a bit more is my positioning. I'm actually going too far forwards quite a lot when I can just stay still. So yeah, I would tell myself here to focus on my ring usage in dive and saving it for all the kite. And also trying to communicate more to make use of my ring on attack. And when we get into these positions where not much is going to happen because the enemy team is on a brawl comp and they've found a bunker spot, where I can actually go, okay, I'm going to tell my Ashe to walk this way and I'll have ring to peel. So yeah, that's about it. I hope people found this useful or interesting. And maybe I'll post another thing on here at some point.